From Tally to Cali,
it's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up! Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One more corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hutchavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! What's up, everybody? It is Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Coming up on today's show, Renegade Express Part 1. Newcomers, who's going to step up, and what conference do we maybe want to go find a new home in? Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, Tallahassee, Florida. CPTallybar.com is the website. You can always pull out your phone, hit the QR code on your screen. Takes you to the website. You can check out the social menu, which is bingo on Thursday night. So check it out tonight. Dauber, BYOB sometimes, or, you can just circle it with a marker. But you'll find great food, great entertainment, darts, billiards, anything you want. Bring the kids, bring the wife, bring the husband, bring the friends, bring anybody you care about, because it's always a great time over at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corey Clark, will you be there possibly? Oh, you're on the mend. So yesterday it was like me dragging us down, and you're not going to drag us down because you know how to play hurt. But how's your tooth? We don't want to dive too far into your oral ailments, but how you holding up, champ?
We're good, man. The numbing's worn off a little bit, but it was, it was a crown put on. It was so time consuming. It was an hour and a half. I didn't think it was going to be like that. But yeah, after the root canal, now the crown, it's just temporary. So I got to go back in 3 weeks. And as I told you, spend a little more money because as Stephanie has pointed out multiple times, I could be on her dental insurance if I would just ask one question. But I'm not on her dental insurance right now, so it's hitting Daddy in the wallet a little bit. This dentistry game, I tell you what, Z-Chan, what's up? But yeah, no, I'll probably be at Corner Pocket at some point on Thursday. I was there Tuesday to lose at trivia, but we had a good time, and that's all that matters. Corner Pocket's a good place to be. I'm there sometimes. Stephanie's there sometimes. Our man Bill, the owner, a Nole through and through. He's there most nights.
Hey, I don't want to get morbid here to start the show off, but I was thinking about this a few weeks ago, maybe last month, during the World Cup when, Grant Wall, a journalist that was like in his late 40s, just kind of suddenly passed away. I don't know if all of us have health insurance out there, but those of us who do, guys, now let's go use our free annual physical, everybody. Y'all do that for me this year, please. It's covered if you have a health insurance plan. Man, I know we don't have the time of the day to do it, but hey, just go do it. Show it for the people you love, man. You never know what they can find out and snuff out, and do it for me, please.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Amen. What a great sentiment.
Speaking of morbid stuff, we were kind of writing the obituary of Florida State basketball the other night, and we did a show because we're like, they're going to be on the road. They're going to lose to Notre Dame. They did not. I saw that line. I'm like, they're only underdogs by 5? That's crazy.
Yeah. Notre Dame was 1-6 in the ACC.
I didn't realize that. But still, though, they're going to still fight. So get off Leonard's back, everybody. He can have a down year.
They're now 6-13. But, yeah, still, it was a really nice win. I mean, Matthew Cleveland, again, is just a rebound. He's turned into Dennis Rodman. It's crazy, but can score. He had 16 boards. They got up 32-8, which is nuts. Of course, it got back to like a 7 or 8 point game. But then after that, they made another run in the second half and got themselves their first road win of the year. So, yeah, good for them.
Yeah. Own you, Mike Bray. Own Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think Mike Bray, this might be his last season. Leonard's had some excuses here the last couple of years with injuries and goofy suspensions and whatnot. Mike Bray has no excuse for his program to be this bad, and it's been pretty average to bad for a good long while.
It has. So. That 4-year stretch or whatever where they made it to the Elite 8 every year, that's a long time ago, and it doesn't feel like it, but it has been when you look it up. So, anywho, all right, let's move on to the Renegade Express. We spoke to a slew of newcomers on Wednesday. You can check out all those interviews over on our YouTube page, which you should be subscribed to, and hit the thumbs up if you're listening to us on YouTube. Maybe leave us a 5-star rating review if you're on an Apple device. We'll speak to 4 more, I think, this morning, including Jaheim Bell. So be on the lookout for that. Shout out to our guy Invictus Seminole. He offered us some questions to ask the newcomers, which I solicited. So I'll see if I can maybe slip one of these in on Thursday when we speak to the newcomers.
Okay.
We start down in Naples. Our guy M. Adams CZ, a.k.a. Mark. Wake up. Which newcomer are you most excited to talk to, each of you? Mark says it's going to be Jaheim Bell. I just think he's going to make a tremendous difference in this offense. I was looking forward to Jeremiah Byers. I like offensive linemen. They're always pretty earnest and very, very well. They give you the real, man. They're earnest and honest. I like those guys. So what caught me was just him, again, gushing about Alex Atkins. We talked on the show the other day, Corey, about, if you had the winning ticket for the playoff, Florida State doing it this coming season or 2024, and we talk about, well, we don't know what they're going to have in 2024. And I think a lot of that is obviously roster-wise, player personnel. But, man, another good season in 2023, Alex Atkins might become a real rising hot commodity, man. And just anybody who they love that guy, those offensive linemen. So that was the kind of standout moment, just hearing him talk about call him the realist. So.
Yeah, and honestly, because I was in a dentist chair when those interviews were happening, I didn't get to watch the other ones. Cypress talked, right? Fisk talked.
No, we didn't get Fisk. No.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
We got Byers, Fentrell Cypress, and Keziah Holmes.
Okay. But I wrote a story on Byers. It's on the website now, along with Ira's Cypress story, so you can read what those kids had to say. You don't have to just watch the video. Go on the site. We can write a little bit over at Warchant. So go read and see for yourself. But writing that story, I did watch his interview, and I thought that was really telling that he really did talk about Atkins, and he said, I think it was this. He got to watch 2 practices on his visit, and one of them, he's like, Atkins was telling the guys, like, I'll put you on scout team. You're supposed to perform. This isn't we just go through the motions here. You perform here. I have no problem putting any of you on scout team. And Byers, some kids might, turn a side eye to that, like, oh, geez, man, this is the 15th week of the season, and you're talking to them like that after the season they've had. But that's how Atkins coaches, and that's clearly how Byers wants to be coached because he committed after that. So that was a good sign. He did say again, like they all do, Atkins just keeps it straight real. He doesn't tell you what you want to hear. He tells you what you need to hear. And he even told Byers, I need to see more consistency out of you when it comes to the power. He's like, and Byers said that. He's like, my athleticism, everybody knows about that. And I'm like, well, I don't, Jeremiah. I didn't watch a lot of UTEP football, but I'll take your word for it. But everybody knows about my athleticism, but I've got to get stronger. I've got to become more powerful. And he said Atkins told him that. Like, it's in there. I see it, but it's not on a consistent basis. So, Byers I thought was really, really good. It was funny, too, when he said he had met Atkins when Atkins was at Tulane. But he's like, Tulane's a private school. And back then, my grades weren't really getting me to a private school, so UTEP it was, which was really funny. But I didn't realize, like, he was recruited by UTEP, Incarnate Word, Prairie View A&M, Abilene Christian, like, just and how cool it is now that kid 3 years later, his mom is comparing it to The Blind Side with a revolving door of high-profile coaches coming in their house. Yeah. Like, the portal is awesome for guys like that. You get to play yourself up, not play yourself over, go to the highest bidder necessarily, although you've earned it because you played really well where you've been. But it's just a really cool story for Byers to go from one scholarship offer from a Division I school, and it was UTEP, to then his final 3 was like Ohio State, Florida State, and Oregon. And Norvell was the first call he got in the portal. So, which, not the first time Norvell's been the first call one of these guys has gotten in the portal.
Yeah. It's a little bit bittersweet because, you think about, like, UTEP invested in him and then he just leaves them. Dimitri,
Screw all that.
But, but that kid, but ultimately comes down to that kid doing what's best for him and his family. So, if he deserves and he's got the merit to play at a higher level, he can do that. And it's like, man, UTEP's got some fans, but there's thousands of people at Florida State that are welcome with open arms as opposed to, I don't want to be a jerk about it, but like 5-6 dozen maybe UTEP fans are like, man, this sucks. But
if that, I don't even know if there's that. And think about, like, I was trying to think, like, what the media availability is like at Texas El Paso, and what has he ever talked to the media before? He certainly has never been in an environment like that where he's at a podium. No, I mean, when he's at a podium and he's talking for 12 minutes and answering 10 questions from people on a Zoom and people there. That's I asked Verse about that too, like coming from Albany. Like, it's all a completely different world. I love you, UTEP. Texas Western, shout out. Don Haskins beating Adolph Rupp in 66. We love it. We'll love you for it, buddy. But, man, that Texas UTEP isn't Florida State, and it's not close. It's everything is a different level, including the media availability and the media responsibility. Like answering, like he might have had a story done on him at UTEP, especially when he became good. But you think he had reporters peppering him with questions for 12 minutes in his life?
No,
like it's a new experience for him, and he handled it well. It was fun to watch. He did say he was sweating at one point, but he handled it well.
All right, numerous questions from Mark. Other than Jordan Travis, what returning player do you think takes the biggest leap in 2023? What's your go-to appetizer for a Super Bowl party? He goes with pulled pork barbecue nachos with queso.
That's very specific, Mark.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be more general and generic than that.
Yeah, I haven't been to a Super Bowl party in a while, which is a little depressing. But I usually bring, I'll bring some seltzers to the show.
Buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that. The Super Bowl party I usually go to, it's incredible. And then also what I do, guys, and again, I've told you this before, a couple dozen Krispy Kreme donuts. Bring those. They always get eaten. Yeah. Do one that's just pure glazed and the other one that's assorted. You're always a hit. It's always a hit. It never goes wrong. It's never a bad batch. It's never like, this dip isn't as good as last year. These tacos or the nachos aren't as good as they were last year. No, it's always going to deliver.
All right, so when we talk about biggest leap, I don't know if you want to kind of start with somebody who has a bigger gap between where they were at in 2022 and what their ceiling can be, or do we take like the layup low-hanging fruit and say Jared Verse? Part of me wants to say Fabian Lovett, but I think Jared Verse, there's maybe a little bit more. Like I would love to see Fabian live up to like the reputation we've given him as this kind of absolute stalwart that his absence just makes him an absolute puddle of mess on defense when he's not there. But, he isn't quite that level, but he's going to be so much more physically mature than everybody's lining up against. But, man, I just think Jared Verse, he's going to be so locked in this year. He knows what he has to do. But leap is a big word, so I don't know if that would qualify. What do you think, Corey?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. It's hard to predict that. I'm sure we'll get asked that again.
What about Winston Wright? Right? I mean, he's got a
but he's taking a leap from what? From nothing?
Yeah.
He's taking a leap from technically that'd be a great answer. It just seems kind of like a cop-out. Maybe Portier?
Darion Williamson?
Yeah, maybe that's a better answer because he only had those 5 catches. But maybe that is a guy that they really feel is going to, especially with McClain gone now, and there might be somebody else that goes before the season starts, that you wonder what his production will be like because, again, they clearly like him. I also was leaning towards Julian Armella.
Okay.
Does that count?
Yeah. I mean, leap from what, though? You yelled at me for picking Winston Wright.
No, but like Winston Wright was good and then got hurt. Like I'm talking about a leap from a kid that couldn't get on the field unless it was a blowout to potentially being your starting right tackle.
Okay.
Well, that's what I meant.
Lastly, how about this one, though? Man, Akeem
got
Dent.
4
let's do
questions,
it.
Mark. We love you.
I'm just saying, but Akeem Dent. Let's go, man. Like he could. Come on, Akeem. Do it for us.
If it's not, if he doesn't take a leap, it might be somebody else in his spot.
Flavanol. Just like saying that, Flavanol. Which transfer do each of you predict to have the most impact? I'm going to go with Fisk. What's awesome? Equal or greater arguments can possibly be made for Cypress, Bell, and Byers, or someone else. What an offseason. I mean,
what do you think,
like,
Aslan?
Fisk is going to be battling and probably involved in a rotation. Cypress or Byers is like, probably going to lock down a spot and play, 50 reps a game, right? So talking about who's got the most impact. Yeah, I mean, if Fentrell Cypress can be a very solid cover cornerback that can tackle well and be a complete cornerback, a complete defensive back in Adam Fuller's system, I'd probably go with Cypress just because in terms of, I think, of the amount of reps he'll get is probably a little bit more than Fisk and the other aforementioned dudes.
True. Those are both good points. I think I go with Fisk, though. I think just what he'll do, the upgrade he gives you on the defensive line, theoretically, I mean, he has to do it, but if he's as good as we think he is, the upgrade he's going to give you and the impact that the defensive line just makes such a huge impact in the run game and the passing game. And, can give Fabian Lovett 20 less reps if he's healthy. Can give, just his presence, the way they can keep guys fresh. at the most important position on a defense. Talking about the defensive line in general, I just think that's you can't put a price tag on that, Aslan. So I'm going to go with Fisk.
Growing up, my dad used to take me to the game at the stadium. We'd watch our favorite team play, and then we'd always eat at Zaxby's. That's why it means so much to me that Zaxby's is the official chicken of college fans. To me, they go together perfectly. It reminds me of my dad and...
Oh, come on, Ref! Are you serious? Get some glasses! Terrible call!
Now I take my kids to the game, and we always eat at Zaxby's too. It's tradition.
We're proud to be the official chicken of college fans. Zaxby's, indescribably good.
And don't forget to listen in for the Zaxby's Indescribably Good Player of the Week every Monday on Wake Up Warchant.
We're going to pass over NYC Noel. He simply saved a spot in line but didn't type anything in there, so he's got a few hours to get it in there. Even though we're doing this a two-parter, we're pretty much doing it all in one day and just spreading it out. So if you're hearing this, it might be too late, NYC Noel. Let's go to Mississippi, I think. The name is Sip Noel 10. Maybe just like sipping on coffee, maybe like sipping on brown water. Don't know. 6 words in this, 7 words.
Oh, okay.
SEC or Big Ten? What you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking, I assume the question is what conference would you rather Florida State be in, or what conference do you think they have a better chance of getting in? Either way, I would think the SEC seems like the natural fit, right? Whenever this plays out the way it's going to play out. I mean, it'd be great to get Big Ten money. It wouldn't be great to go to Minneapolis in November or pick a Madison or Iowa City, or, I mean, Chicago would be cool. I was going to say Northwestern. But, yeah, man, like East Lansing, those aren't great places to be in November and December.
No.
Purdue, there's a lot of, like, and also, but the Big Ten cares about football, man. I know they haven't won much lately in the grand scheme of things, but those are passionate fan bases with huge stadiums. So it's not that much different than the
trophies.
SEC.
They have so many trophy games. I want a trophy game. I want an axe.
That's true, man.
I want
like the
barrel.
Florida State Purdue, you're playing for the wooden donkey.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, yeah, I'm with you on that. You're playing for the pale horse. There's always something up there. You're absolutely right. I just think that the SEC, though, clearly, all of us have more friends that are SEC fans. Yeah. You feel like more like an SEC fan base. You can relate more to them because you get to enjoy sunshine. I would think the SEC is what most people would desperately want. But if it's the Big Ten or the ACC, I think everybody listening to this would probably go with the Big Ten at this point, even though it is more travel and snowier conditions.
I can't even imagine you and Ira on the field in like West Lafayette, Indiana, doing a war chant rap. Like, Florida State just took down Purdue to vault to second place in the Big Ten East.
The leaders division.
Yeah. But yes, I would. I don't know. I'd rather be in West Lafayette than Raleigh, but because NC State, they care. I shouldn't say that. But yeah, I'd probably rather be in West Lafayette than Winston-Salem. I just would. But Dave Clawson's got a good program too, though. But SEC for sure. Just because, I mean, again, we've mentioned it so many times on the podcast, and we'll mention it any time that you guys ask us this question, but just think about the home game atmosphere in Tallahassee, even if Arkansas comes to town. Like, not Alabama or LSU or Bama or Tennessee. Like, not even the top end of that conference. Even Ole Miss coming to Tallahassee. Us going to Oxford. Going to the Grove, y'all. Amazing. It'd be amazing.
Amen.
VCal 5. AC, what's up? All right, I like that, AC. Corey, Aslan and Corey, obviously. Corey, props to you on your new fitness regime.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Which, yeah, I like it, Corey. Like, so you're a quick study, man. You're at the point now where you don't like missing days. That took me years, like a lifetime almost. But like I don't think you feel bad. You're not like, oh, I'm gross, but like you feel this sort of guilt almost if you don't make it to the gym on your assigned day, don't you? And that's magical.
Oh, absolutely I do. And I'll be honest with you, Aslan, I look in the mirror way too much. But, the six-pack is almost there.
All right, we'll send a photo.
I'm going to have to show it to you. That when I get it, you all are going to get to see it. Because I didn't think it was possible. I thought my body would reject it, but it's close. I'm at 13.9% body fat. I don't even know what I'm trying to get down to. 4, 7. I don't know what a good number is, but I'm trying my best.
Whatever Greg Jones was at in 2002.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking. And that's kind of what I look like now without my shirt off, is Greg Jones circa 2002. So just picture that. You could probably put my face on that picture, and that's what you're missing. So I don't even need a shirtless pic to send you guys. But yeah, man, it is when it becomes a habit. I really want Brady to get there. I'm trying.
Yeah.
But if it becomes a habit, it just changes your life.
Yeah, man.
And it's not like I'm crazy. It's not like I just eat twigs and berries.
Right.
Like I still can eat what I want to eat for the most part. I'm not going crazy with the diet, but just I feel like I've missed something if I haven't. So I'm doing it. I would guess 6 days a week. I'm doing something pretty significantly active. Yeah.
And aren't the little things like bending down and tying your shoe? Like, does it feel different? Like easier almost? Like, just because you're moving all the time now.
Yeah, sure. Except my muscles are all sore now. That's something. Wow. And more than anything, it's just I don't run past the mirror anymore.
Okay.
I gaze. I'm like a cow in an open field. I just sit there and stare.
Okay. Question, gentlemen. Assuming tour of duty is an hour long, and the first 10 minutes are dedicated to stretching, how long would each of you last?
I thought about that because I thought it would be a pretty good video if one or both of us tried to go do it, because we're in good enough shape that I don't think we would embarrass ourselves, but I'm pretty sure I would throw up. I would think, I don't know, man, half of it, 35. And where do they put me? Like, because they're not all the same drills, right? At least not run at the same
but
pace.
It's a circuit, man. You go to all of them. Like, you'll see Atkins, you go to Fuller. You do all the
right.
The offensive
but they're not
line
expecting you to maybe go and do the obstacles at this. Like, Jeremiah Byers doesn't have to do it at the same speed as Micah Pittman.
Well, he's trying though, but you have to give 100% though, man. You can't,
right. So, but I want to be with the linemen.
Okay.
I'd feel like, what am I going to do out there with the DBs? That would be fun.
Oh gosh.
But it would be funny looking. But I would like to do it with the linemen, or the specialists.
Okay.
The kickers.
Really
Mastromanno and Fitzgerald.
I can reach out and see if we can set something up.
I would like to know what it entails.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it. It'd be good video. It'd be good video content for me to do that, and you come film me doing it. And I guess as long as I don't throw up on any of the players and get them sick, I feel like that would they shouldn't have a problem with that.
We might have a video intern, so maybe he can film both of us, and we can, splice together.
Are you going to go shirtless like they do? What are you going to?
Absolutely, man. Show this full gnarly woolly chest of mine. Yeah.
I'll probably. Well, I shave mine now, so I'll probably. And I said that out loud into a microphone, gang. I don't care. And Stephanie likes it. Stephanie likes it. I would probably wear like a sleeveless shirt. So I show the guns a little, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be sweating on everything.
Okay. B50. Morning, gents. He posts this at 4:55 in the morning, by the way.
Oh, man. Some people have real jobs, man, and get up early.
Let's be really optimistic this morning. Let's say FSU runs the table. Georgia and Alabama slip up. FSU is ranked number 1 in the country in the playoffs. Which two teams would you like to see FSU play to win it all? Have a fantastic day. Go Noles, go Niners. Amen, brother. That's right. Let's go Niners.
I would say Georgia Tech and Syracuse. I was trying to think of two teams they beat the tar out of last year. Yeah. I don't know, man. If they're number 1 and they have to play two. Wouldn't you want it to be Alabama and Georgia?
That's what I think he's asking. There's no more prestigious run than probably knocking those two teams off and then getting the trophy. But I would still, I don't know, man, give me the sleeper team. Give me Baylor sneaking.
You get Cincinnati,
Cincinnati,
and then like USC.
I know he wants to be really optimistic. I don't know if I'm, we want Bama, maybe. I don't know if I want to say we want Bama and we want the Dogs. I don't know if I'm there yet.
Right.
Don't know if I'm there yet. I'm working towards it.
Hey, they might both suck next year, gang. We haven't seen it, right? Chances are, I'm going to guess that Nick Saban and Kirby Smart will have field competitive football teams in 2023, but maybe they both miss it. They don't even make a bowl next year. We don't know. We don't know what the future holds. Georgia did lose one of their talented receivers to the portal, A.D. Mitchell, kid that caught the game-winning touchdown in the 2021 national championship game.
Oh, yeah.
He went in the portal.
Well, we'll see, man. And, they're dealing with off-field sorrow and tragedy right now,
Yeah,
too.
they
I don't
are.
know. That's going to be something they're going to have to process, and not something you can really flip the page on quickly. So we'll see how it goes. And again, the quarterback situation. But Kirby's a little bit maniacal. All right, let's go to Old Dad's a Nole. Wake up. By the way, I haven't screened any of these questions, so we're going right for it, Corey.
I don't think you have to. We have
plenty of
subscribers
time.
we can trust.
Subscribers
we can trust too.
And you know what, man? I like doing this. I feel like I can actually be part of the show right now. Like I'm not just reading the questions. Like I actually can talk a little bit about what I want to talk about.
What do you
we got
mean?
some
What's
time.
the difference?
Well, because we usually, it's like we got 29 questions to get to.
No,
and,
it's absolutely right. We need to cut these in half, and it's crazy that we try to fill it all in an hour and 20-minute show. So,
but the thing is, people love the hour-long shows, which is crazy. Those get the highest ratings. I don't know. People just want to.
I think the 40 and 40 will do.
Yeah,
will get us twice as many ratings.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully. Old Dad's a Nole. Here he is. As we all know, NIL is shaping the haves and have-nots. What is one thing you would change about the sport to soften that blow to what is happening and level the playing field? His suggestion is to change 3 years removed from high school to 2. We saw many NFL-ready players on the field on some of these elite teams especially. What do you think about that, and what change would you like to see? Cheers to the best, Old Dad.
Old Dad.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's weird. We talked about that on Headlines a little bit, that Barry Sanders was 1989. He's the one that filed a lawsuit. I'm almost positive about this because he was just a junior, and he's like, I want to go pro now. This is ridiculous. I can't. And we should at least do the baseball rules. And they changed it for that draft, the 89 draft, or 88. He was 88, so the 89 draft, so Dion's year. Yeah, that's right. They were drafting the same year. So before that, you had to stay 4 years. Then that got changed to 3 years, and then it's just stuck now for 33 years where it hasn't changed at all. I don't mind that. I think I think 2 years would be not a bad play necessarily. I mean, theoretically, we live in a country where you should be able to go pro whenever you want, honestly, but that doesn't happen with these sports leagues. But I think my change would be, you can't, and I know there's no way to police it. I get it. You can't sign an NIL deal out of high school.
So it's only retention. You can't use it as a
retention
inducement.
or portal.
Okay.
Portal. Yeah. Guys that have proven they deserve it. I mean, I don't know what you call it, nonsense, whatever it is with the Rashida drama with Florida. I mean, it's just crazy, man. It's just like, how does he go into any locker room? Now, whoever he goes to, everybody is going to assume, he must have gotten $13 million to go play football there, and all his teammates are going to think that, including the starting quarterback. Who, wherever he ends up going, the starting quarterback is going to be like, did we pay this guy that's never thrown a pass in college $9 million? And it's different. I know people can say the same thing about, well, you do that with an NFL veteran and they draft some rookie hotshot. That's different, and we all know it's different. This is a kid that might suck. And it might be a bust. It's a crazy, that I just don't like that aspect of it. I love the NIL, but for the Jordan Travises of the world and the Jared Verses of the world, they are big names. They have earned money. They deserve money. Jordan Travis is one of the 6 best known football players in the state of Florida, including NFL players, right? Like if you lined him, if he walked into a bar in Florida, Trevor Lawrence is known more clearly because of the hair.
But Tom Brady,
Tua?
Mike Evans.
Tom
Tua,
Brady doesn't count. I forgot about Tom Brady.
Tyreek Hill. I mean, I don't know if Jordan.
Man, he's up there though, right? It's not like he wouldn't get. It's not like he's not a big name.
Listen, I have been borderline disrespectful to Jordan Travis. Man, he is an amazing, amazing football player that has overshot any expectation I ever had for him, and he's possibly going to get even better. I do not think he's a national, even statewide. I don't think he is Florida State fans, yes. Florida fans, you're pocketing Miami fans, but I don't know if they would recognize him like walking into a room. Not to take away from your point here, but he is a valuable commodity. But I don't know if
they'd recognize him on TV when he's selling those isotoner gloves.
Well, he's got that Cheez-It belt around his waist. Yeah,
he's selling Cheez-Its. Yeah. They'd recognize that. All the Florida and Miami fans would recognize that. He's just a big name. I mean, he's a big name. He's an important name, and I think that's what I love about the NIL. That 5 years ago, these guys, Todd Gurley got suspended for selling his autograph. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's nonsensical. It always was, especially as coaches started getting paid $7 million a year, and the star running back can't make $4,000 selling his autograph. He's actually selling it. It's just nutty and stupid. So I'm a fan of that. I'm not just a fan of you getting a blank check before you've done anything at this level. But that makes me an old guy, I guess.
I wish I would have read this earlier and maybe thought out a better answer. I don't have one off the dome. I mean, I think it has to come to some sort of salary cap situation. But again, I don't know how much of this is going to really be revealed until they make these universities that are getting all this money from all these TV contracts invest it into more people in compliance so that they can get all this information up, and then you can make it widely known what's going on. It's going to really be hard to police this thing, and the only way you can really make this fair is to cap it. All right, you can only offer 10 NIL deals a year or make it X amount of dollars. But that's not going to happen because that's anti-American almost. And it's going to be sad at some point here, man. The 12-team playoff is going to be awesome, and more realignment's going to be fun for teams like us and Clemson and maybe Miami that can find a way into these super conferences. But, man, like NC State's an okay football program. I don't know where they're going to be. Washington State, like they care about their football in Pullman. I don't know how marketable they'll be in terms of being able to get people there. So
yeah, but they never have been. Like I guess that's what I would in that question and the way it's asked, the haves and the have-nots. I feel like the haves are still the haves.
Yeah, but I don't want to create more have. I don't want to make all these teams completely irrelevant. I mean, Wazoo made it. They almost made it to a New Year's Six bowl a few years ago, and they had Gardner Minshew up there and stuff like at that point.
Oh, I know, but they're never going to be a national power.
If that was going to happen, into the top 12, though.
But that's not a national. Yeah, they can get to a playoff. There's going to be a bunch of teams that have never had a chance that'll get into the playoff. Right. But and that's what I think can maybe help is, hey, we've been in the playoff 3 times in the last 7 years. We are a power. That can help. But I mean, look, man, Washington State, NC State, North Carolina. A lot of schools in the ACC. Let's be honest, but they're not good. They're always going to be the have-nots when it comes to competing for national championships. But they can still have really good seasons and enjoy football. But the haves are still going to be the haves. I mean, it's not like if the NIL wasn't around, Alabama wouldn't be doing well. Or Georgia wouldn't be doing well. I mean, I think this is part of these schools, the ones that care a lot and have a lot of money, as has been the case for decades now, are going to be pretty good at college football.
It's a new year, new you. Give yourself a fresh start over at MyBookie. Whether you bet to earn or to make the games more exciting, MyBookie gives you the most for your money with their redesigned deposit bonus. Just use the promo code WARCHANT on any deposit of $50 or more to receive an instant cash bonus to your MyBookie account. Using the bonus is simple. Bet the deposit amount just once, and then you're ready to cash out. It's no strings attached over at mybookie.ag. Bet on the NFL playoffs, UFC, NBA, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly online blackjack tournaments. With so many brands to choose from, you need a platform that makes it simple to bet, simple to cash out. MyBookie. Got it all for you. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. I think we talked about what was like the Bucks were like 20-1 to maybe win the Super Bowl. That obviously didn't work out. But then the Bengals were like 8-1, which is a pretty good value, I thought. I really like Joe Burrow. I'm going to ride with Joe Burrow the rest of the way here. Let me see if I can pull up a line for Corey to give us his thoughts on one of these NFL playoffs, because sometimes when we're a little bit divorced from this stuff, we can see it a little bit clearer. What about the Cowboys and Niners? 3.5 points the Niners are giving out to the Cowboys. It's going to be in Santa Clara. Dak and the boys are back. Now, the big thing here has been that San Fran's had the easiest schedule pretty much out of any of the teams in the playoff. Dallas, meanwhile, has had to play the Eagles twice, the Giants twice, so their record is maybe not indicative of how good they are. Will they finally be the team that can stop Brock Purdy?
And they're getting 3.5.
3.5.
You know what? I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to take the Cowboys. And let's hope it doesn't come down to a kick for the Cowboys. Holy moly. But yeah, man, I just think the way they looked, I mean, that offense, I know Tampa Bay isn't any good this year, but Tom Brady was throwing the ball like he had, I know he's not Tom Brady anymore, but I don't know what was going on. Did they have 13 guys on the field? It looked like he had never played the sport with some of those throws. Just straight into the ground, 9 feet away from the intended receiver, 20 feet away at some point. It was just crazy. So maybe the Cowboys have found something, man. They're going in there. They're the underdog. I feel like there's they should be playing kind of loose. And it's, Dak Prescott, who's been a pretty good quarterback in this league, against a guy making a second playoff start that's a rookie. Now, maybe Brock Purdy is going to be awesome, and I'll feel dumb for doubting him. But I just think maybe at some point he's going to have a rookie game. And I feel like the divisional round against the Cowboys as a favorite, that might be the time. Plus, I haven't been all that impressed with 49ers defense lately. So there you go, 3.5.
MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code WARCHANT. All right, back at it. A few more. Seminole life. Morning, boys. Off-season question time. Favorite place or places to eat all time in Tallahassee?
Oh, giving free ads. Like Corner Pocket.
Yeah. Game over.
Corner Pocket. You can order anything there. The burger there is great. They got frog legs, chicken wings. Get them Daytona style, so they grill them a little bit if you want them a little crispier. Side salad's great. Tons of cheese and lettuce. It's all you could ask for. Other than that, obviously, Bill, Corner Pocket's number one. You know that, buddy.
Yeah. Any Zaxby's besides
Zaxby's,
the one on
of course.
Capitol
that goes without saying. That's the
Capitol
place.
East.
But that's not just Tallahassee. That's everywhere. But certainly Danny's are the ones we like the most. But because Zaxby's, that's universal. That's international. That's everywhere.
Listen, I'm a picky eater, so I'm really bad to ask this question to you. But so many people refer to Tallahassee as a foodie town, and I just roll my eyes. Like I dislocate my eye socket. To me, I am very underwhelmed by the local food scene, if you will. There's a couple good pizza places. There's a pretty decent Chicago-style deep dish spot. I mean, are we going to give away free plugs here, Corey, or no? Or
you can give one. We'll each give one.
I'll go with the New York-style one. There's 2 good joints in town, but the one I think is a little bit better is Soli's, which our guy Ira Schofel found out about. They're like on the northwest side of town, but they're pretty legit. If you like that New York style, it's top of the line, I think, at least when it comes to Tallahassee. So I'll give some props there. I do think that's a legit good pizza pie.
And I'm going to go with Cool Beans.
Okay.
I've always loved that place. I don't go there enough, actually, but it's always been very good every time I've gone.
See, yeah, I'd like to debate on that, but we will move along.
Hey, man, I don't care about your opinion.
They're ambitious. They are ambitious.
Sure, that's right.
Their execution sometimes, but they're ambitious. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
They are pretty established in the local community, and they seem to be good people on the whole. So okay,
they're open for lunch, which is fun.
Yeah, and I think they're actually open until maybe 9 o'clock, which is crazy. I mean, dining hours at 9
That's
p.m.
your late night dining in Tallahassee.
Don't get me started. All right, let's take maybe 2 more and then get to the rest of it for a show on Friday. Nole. I'm seeing some new names, I feel like. Introduce yourself. Wake up. Happy off-season, fellas. How many preseason All-ACC players do you think will be on this year's team? And as far as the newcomers, how many of them are going to really contribute year one? This is more about the high-profile transfers, Bell, Cypress, defensive lineman, offensive lineman. Thank you for all you do, the best podcast that covers our beloved university, the 100 emoji. Punctuates
there you
it.
Go.
Okay,
Absolutely.
He means it. I agree. Man, who's not going to really contribute? That's a high-profile transfer. Fisk, Bell, Cypress,
Byers,
Jackson. Yeah, all these guys are coming in to do big things. So I almost thought you were going to ask us about the high school kids. which I would say probably the receivers, because that's kind of the easiest way to make an impression on a roster in this day and age. There's nobody they've gotten the transfer portal that I've been like, huh. Really, I mean, it hasn't been. Everything kind of makes sense. So I really can't pick one over the other. I guess it goes back to Cypress, in terms of we got to pick one, but in terms of how many, I don't know, I mean, like all of them, right? I mean, I should pull up the list and go through it, but I'm about to lose my voice. So I'm going to have Corey maybe take over while I pull it up and cough.
Yeah, I don't know that maybe they do preseason. I guess they do preseason player of the year or preseason first team All-ACC. I know they do preseason players of the year. I don't know if they do an All-ACC preseason, but if they do, or even if they don't, I'm doing one right now. Verse, Lovett, Cypress.
You think Renardo makes? Are you talking about first team? Or I think Renardo makes.
We'll just do first team. I don't know. He probably could, but I don't think he would. And then on the other side, Travis, Benson, and Johnny Wilson, and maybe Byers. Although I don't know who votes on this stuff, but he's not a big enough name yet to elicit a lot of votes. I think, but so I think those the six that I named, I think would be, Cypress, Lovett, and Verse for sure. Maybe Patrick Payton, because he's the reigning defensive freshman of the year, and then Travis Benson and Johnny Wilson on offense for sure. Maybe Jaheim Bell too. Yeah. So there's 7 or 8, I guess, are possibilities. And look, man, Maurice Smith, Robert Scott, those guys have played a ton of football, so they could be laying on one of those teams too.
Yeah, we don't talk about Casey Roddick enough. He's another guy that transferred in. It's probably penciled in at one of your guard spots. I mean, Keandre Jones and our guy Gilbert Edmond feel like, depth pieces. Maybe they're a little bit less heralded than who's coming in, but still, those are guys that play at positions that are really physical, and you're going to need those guys ready at some point. I mean, again, Jason Turntine, Darius Washington, Bless Harris. I mean, these guys were kind of a revolving door, and once Bless Harris went down, they had to move pieces around. So, anybody on the offensive line under Alex Atkins is liable to go in there and play quite well. So, but maybe Edmond and Jones at this point we think are a little bit more impactful. But that's because you've got guys like Cypress and, everybody else that we've mentioned numerous times. So it's a good place to be. It's a really good place to be.
Yeah, it's a good place to be that you can get a guy from Colorado that was a starter, a guy from Auburn that I think was a starter, and not know if they're even going to play for you because of all the other talent you've accrued. When 2 years ago, just think about Andrew Parchment and how everybody was excited about that. Like, that was the state of the program where that kid came in and was the best receiver you had, probably. Or you thought so anyway. And now he probably wouldn't even come here. They wouldn't go after him. Not because anything Andrew Parchment did necessarily, but because they're good. They're stacked there. They don't need that. And it's kind of that way with the offensive line, right? With the depth where they're recruiting. Now, obviously, Byers is coming here to start. And you think he's going to start. But these other guys, man, that's cool to have depth like that. Like, yeah, Roddick, great. You might play here, but you might not. You might just be a backup.
Oh, no. Roddick is penciled in. I think
he's
Keandre
penciled
Jones.
in.
Yeah.
But he's not stamped in. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the cool part about the program. I mean, they're not just coming in rubber stamp, you're starting. Like, he's going to have to earn it. They got guys that they've developed, and they got other guys on this roster that have played some football. So, and they can mix and match, and they're versatile. By the way, so Byers did say that he's probably going to start at guard.
Right.
But he has played tackle, and they kind of want him to be he mentioned hybrid too.
Yeah.
Like, he could be both.
He's been predominantly tackle at UTEP, but they think he can play guard, and I trust Alex Atkins. So.
Yeah.
All right, last one. A little bit of a sandwich. We started off giving props to the basketball team. Random_John. Hope the missus is doing all right with her Achilles surgery, by the way, big guy. He wants to talk hoops. Good morning, Azon and Corey. The recent Notre Dame game aside, our basketball team has decided to crash into the side of a mountain for some reason. Is it X's and O's coaching, or the coach's evaluation of the players they recruited? With NIL being NIL and FSU money folks not being as invested in basketball, what can reasonably be done by the coaches to get FSU back to a 2020 level of play? Also, do you feel this is Ham's last year, or maybe next year is his last year? Who would replace him? My top picks are Dennis Gates or CY, but Gates makes $2.5 million, and CY is making $600,000. What kind of investment will Michael Alford make in basketball to make them competitive? I mean, he's invested a lot in making sure football and other non-revenue sports remain relevant. What is his plan to help get the men's basketball team back to relevance? Man, Random Underscore John is always so thorough and very
That's a lot.
emphatic.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Man, like all that on basketball, too. Really? God bless
hey, man,
you guys.
Don't be like that.
I mean, come on.
People care. Hey, when they're good, people care. People
man,
cared in 2020.
Man, that's why I'm not going to have kids, because I'd have a kid and they'd want to do some sort of, activity, and I'm like, really? I got to go and pretend that I like, you singing, song, and dancing. Right. Like, come on.
Well,
you don't want to do anything else, I'm there for you, champ, but not that.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if I gave you the over under 2.5 years Ham's tenure at Florida State. I'd probably take the under.
I would too. I don't think this will be his last year. It would just, more than anything, it would just bum me out. Like, I don't want his tenure to end like this. Because
and I'm not pushing him out, by the way. Sorry, Corey. I'm not
either.
Pushing him out.
Yeah. But look, man, you are what your record says you are, and you're 6-13, and they've had a rash of injuries the last 2 years, but it's not like it was to Patrick Williams and Devin Vassell. You haven't been crushed by lottery picks getting hurt. You had a freshman point guard that broke his hand and missed 6 or 7 games. Cam Fletcher's a nice player. A very talented player, actually, and that is a loss. But it's not Trent Forrest, and you weren't good when you had him. So you can't just use the injuries as an excuse. And I think I've wondered about this for the last couple of years. Yes, I think NIL is a big deal. I think all of a sudden the Patrick Williamses and the Scotty Barneses, they've dried up, haven't they?
Yeah. Not
really bringing them in. So, and the guys you are bringing in, I mean, Cameron Corrin, again, I like that guy a lot. What about the other freshmen?
What about
nothing
Caleb?
You really see there that you get really, really. Bob is a whole different category, but you don't get excited about the domestic freshman that you brought in.
What about Caleb Mills?
Yeah,
I think there was a lot of high expectations we had with him, and he really has not been sort of the offensive, productive piece that you were expecting. So I don't know how much.
Yeah, it wasn't, and I don't think he was a good
evaluation.
fit. I don't think he's been a good fit for the program necessarily. I think he has his moments for sure, and I think he does play hard, but he commits silly fouls. He's always in foul trouble in the first half. It's like he doesn't want to play in the first half. Now, look, when you go back to X's and O's, and we'll make this quick. I know this is more of a football show.
Well, it's the last question.
January.
Do what you want, Corey. Feel free to explore the space.
I know, explore the space. But, you don't always have to sit him with 2 fouls, Leonard. But he's going to do that. That's just how he does it. And so he'll sit a guy that's made 3 threes in a row, and if he picks up his second foul with 9 minutes left in the first half, sorry, you're done. Meanwhile, there goes our lead. And you never know if the kid's going to get hot again. He also might finish with 2 fouls. Like, that just happens a lot. I would like him to, trust the guys to be able to play with 2 fouls. But Caleb Mills, sometimes he'll have a foul on him already with 5 minutes gone in the first half, and he'll be bumping a kid dribbling up the court so hard that he's begging to be called for a foul. They whistle him for a foul, he goes sits down for 15 minutes. It's like I just can't stand that kind of stuff, and it hasn't happened that much lately. But again, even against Notre Dame, I think he played 5 minutes in the first half or something crazy. I mean, they had a huge lead anyway. But no, he has not been the dynamic player we thought he would be. I think Jalen Worley, even though he had a very nice game against Notre Dame, he's got to take a huge leap to be anything close to what we were hoping. Matthew Cleveland's been awesome, especially the last month. He's been incredible. Good for him. But, none of these freshmen have come in and really impressed. And when you start looking at the players they brought in, it seems like there's some misses there.
Yeah.
And some of it is because you don't get to swing for the fences right now. I mean, NIL, there's schools that care more and, are paying more for players to come play for them. And I don't know how the one thing I don't like about this particular coaching job for this particular team is sometimes you've got to coach to the personnel. And this team cannot play the type of defense that Leonard wants them to play. Yeah. But he was so stubborn with it that they tried to play it anyway. So they give up 1 million threes. Their guys are dog tired because they're dragging them 94 feet because that's what they do. That's Florida State's style, and it's worked really well for them. When you have 11 guys, but when you have 6, that doesn't. And some of them can't switch. Maybe you try a different strategy, and that's been one of my biggest pet peeve. My biggest disappointment about this season is be a little bit more malleable. Coach to your team, not just to what you always do. As far as who would replace Leonard,
Jay Wright.
Yeah, I think Jay Wright. There you go. That's a good. What's Krzyzewski doing? He might have a few years left. He might have the itch now. The itch is back. I would think CY Charlton Young is a name that will come up. I think Dennis Gates he's priced out. He's out of your range now. He's making what he's making at Missouri already, and it's SEC money. I'm sure if they have a good year like they seem to be doing, he'll get a raise, and I think he's out of your price range. Same with Edenfield, who's also part of the Leonard tree out at USC. So I would think CY would be great. He's been a head coach before at Georgia Southern. He was really instrumental in landing some of the great players they had at this program. And as a, I was going to say a strategian, but that's not a word. Strategist. What in the world? A strategian? That's like a character in Star Wars. That's crazy. Clark, get it together. But yeah, so I think CY would be on the short list. And then Florida State is also at a place now because of what they did with Leonard and all the greatness they accomplished, where you could go get a pretty big name from not maybe a Power 5 conference, but from somewhere else.
You know who I'd really would sorry, you know what I would really like? And I think there's probably no chance that people are going to be like, ew. I like Sean Miller, man. I like Sean Miller a lot.
Where's he?
He's at Xavier now. He was disgraced at Arizona. He was caught up in the whole
he was disgraced. Thing. And again, I don't know that Florida State pays more than Xavier.
Yeah, and then I can't find – he signed a 6-year deal. I can't find any money on it because they're a private university, so they don't reveal how much they pay their guys. So just the name. I mean, they're top 10 right now, Xavier. He's a good ball coach, man.
But I think Florida State would be enticing because you've seen the pinnacle it can get to.
Yeah.
If it's coached well, it's not some program where you're just going to bump your head.
Or do they see it?
They had a Final Four team.
Do they see it and realize how much Leonard did, and they're like, man, I can't do that? Like, does Leonard have that kind of cachet and respect in the coaching community that they're like, the only guy that could have made that happen is him? I know they got egos, but
I don't think so. Pat Kennedy won at Florida State too. I know it was a different time, but he did. I mean, there's got two guys that got a team to an Elite Eight at Florida State. It can happen. I just think that you're not going to get a guy. You're not going to get a guy from a Power 5 school. Probably you could get a high profile assistant from one of those schools, or you can go get a mid-major guy. And those are the two options for everyone, really. Who did Florida just hire? I don't even remember his name.
Todd Golden.
Where's
Golden?
he from?
He's from San Francisco. The Dons.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's the pond you're fishing out of. That's Florida. They won national championships. So that's kind of the realistic approach. That's why CY will come up, because he's a high level assistant in an SEC school that's having a good season and has connections to Florida State. So
I like that. I'll take CY. I'd welcome him home. All right, that was really long. We're going to do another one of these, Corey.
It was. Let's do another one real quick.
We're going to go to sleep and all that or whatever.
Yeah.
But stay connected to warchant.com. Again, we'll have interviews with newcomers for them up on our YouTube page, probably starting around like 10:30 in the morning or so. And then we'll have a associated story. Corey, are you going to be back to stenographer clerk, or?
Not like my normal where I'm quoting every word, but yeah, we'll have updates. We'll do an update thread during the interviews.
Dude, I did a summary on 3 guys and it took me an hour. Corey, meanwhile, does like word for word verbatim transcription. It's amazing. Ask for a raise. Ask for a raise.
I am. Trust me. As soon as we stop this show, I'm asking for one.
He's Corey. I'm Mazon. Thank you for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.